Hello, I'm Kråkan, also known as Chorus Cornix, and welcome to Yacc, yet another Crowcast where I pick a game I played for a week and then I'll talk about it. This week's game is Kirby's Dream Course for the Super Nintendo. It was released in 1995 and it's an isometric minigolf game. And the way I played it was on the SNES Classic. So it was developed by HAL Laboratory and Nintendo E8D and published by Nintendo. And also will be spoilers up ahead, just so you know, but first a little backstory. So there's no secret that I'm a huge Kirby fan and it's finally time to play Dream Course. So when you start up the game, you get a bunch of company logos and then the game title itself. And if you wait a bit, you get a small demo. And if you press start, you get to choose between one player game or a two player game or demo play. And demo play is basically how to play the game. And then it's time to choose between member, new member, erase or ranking. I believe the last word is ranking because of my bad handwriting. But if you don't have played the game before, you only have new members as a selectable option. So when you make a new member, it's like an account, I guess. You make a profile picture and you're off to the course. So the first course is obviously course 1, and hole 1 has 3 enemies. And the way that this game works is you have a couple of enemies on the screen. In this case you have 3. So you need to take 2 of these enemies out, and the last one will become the hole itself, if that makes sense. So the way this game works is that, well, obviously Kirby is the ball and you change his facing direction with the L trigger and the right trigger. You can also switch his direction with the D-pad. And by shooting Kirby with the E button, you actually tap it and a meter will appear, and depending on where you place your marker on the meter, it will determine the distance. You also have some guiding arrows to make it easier to understand where the ball lands. And once Kirby gets in the hole, he will fly off on a star and off to the next hole. And if you get a hole in one, you get a 1-up. So this game has an isometric top view, and it's kind of hard to explain, but if you played Diablo 2, you might know what I'm talking about. It's sort of like a top view pseudo 3D effect. So as you play the game gets progressively harder, so you have to learn new tricks and use power-ups. You use the power-ups by taking out certain enemies, earning their powers, and you activate the powers with the B button, and you can get Kirby turns into an electrified ball, or he turns into a rock, or just gets an umbrella so he can glide down to safety. And course 4, or hole 4 I should say, introduces these warp sort of pads, so you never know where you will end up to. And just when I said that, I realized you can actually move around the course and look where the warp pipes will take you, or the warp pads, by pressing the Y button and using the D-pad. And hole 6 introduces the umbrella power-up that I talked about. And this game also has a multiplayer where you compete against other players. So you steal their stars that drops from fallen enemies, and it gets really competitive and ugly fast. So it's kind of hard to explain, but look up Game Grumps versus with this series and you will understand exactly what I mean. It's this game can turn friendship into ugly bitter rivalness. And hole 7 introduces the lobby mechanic, so you can either do a top spin or a bottom spin. In this case you need to do a full top spin so that Kirby will bounce over some surface of water and hit the hole and the enemies. And it's so complex, you know. If I looked at how to play this game, I probably would understand, but I put a save state just here so I would understand the mechanics, because the game doesn't teach you unless you look into the how to play section. And the final hole of course 1 is 8, so this one also took me a while to figure out. So you need to move across some water. There's also a button that will drain out the water. There's also a reset warp, and as I said, it took a while for me to figure this out. But once you beat hole 8, you get a funny dance with Kirby, and he flies up in a spaceship. And the best I got by playing this course 1 over and over again was 19 hits. And I don't think I could get better than that. And now it's time for course 2, hole 1. So in this course you need to, or this hole I should say, you need to lob Kirby into a flying enemy. The hole 2 is going down a hill, clearing out trees with a power-up, and the third hole is has these spinning tiles, so you need to hit the ball a little extra hard in order to pass. And hole 4 introduces my favorite power-up, which is the tires, so Kirby will turn into a racing tower. They just go across the screen. So I like this game. I played it to understand the mechanics. I didn't get into the curvy mechanic where you, well, basically curve Kirby as a golf ball would. But I like to play this game. It was just chill and nice, and I had a really good time. So gameplay. This is a mini golf game with Kirby. Take out all the enemies on screen and get into the hole with as few strokes as possible. Control. The L and R triggers are directional shooting. The D-pad is actually a couple of things. So you either aim with it with a more precise sort of motion, or up and down on the D-pad would change between a straight shot and the lob. The B button uses the power up, the Y button plus the D-pad moves around the screen so you can see where the entire course basically, and the start button pauses. Graphics. So the graphics are cute, colorful, and weird at times. And the layout of the holes are actually they have these simple shapes, so it's easy to see where the ball will bounce, and it kind of has a logic to it, even though it's like pseudo 3D. Sound and music. Hirokazu Ando made the soundtrack for this game, and all the tracks are happy and upbeat. My favorites are Riding to the Sky and the title screen. Easter egg seekers and glitches. I watched a speedrun of this, a tool-assisted speedrun to be exact, by the user SNC 76976. And it's a perfect run, so all the shots are hole-in-one from the start, and it's a tool-assisted speedrun, so it's not human-made, but it's kind of cool to watch. And I can also recommend watching the Game Grumps play the verses in this series. It's silly fun, and at the end it's very destructive to their friendship, which is indeed hilarious. So in conclusion, I wrote, yes, try it if you can get your hands on it. So I'm not a huge minigolf fan, but I'm actually not good at it at all. But the more I played of this game, going through the courses, learning, slowly getting better, or at least a little bit better, I had a good time. The music is upbeat and the graphics are colorful and cute. And if you haven't played this one, at least check it out. So yeah. Anyway, thank you for listening and or watching, and take care.